that will actually be working with this, and probably Rod and I more than others.
What was the last part?
How large is your lead consulting staff? Folks like you.
Right. Yeah. Let me talk a little bit about Dan's point. One is, in our proposal, you'll see it's a flat fee for service paid out monthly. One of the reasons for that is that we found out over the years that if 2 or 3 of us show up at a meeting and you're paying us by the hour like you would lawyers, you don't like it. And we get a little bit of pushback on that. On the other hand, we feel like that we provide better service if there's a number of us at the table. Dan and I sometimes don't see an issue in the same way, and having 2 or 3 members of our staff at the table will provide added insight in how to better do a program, and it also means that when you call the agency, there's always somebody there, though one of us may be traveling, that's up to date on what you're doing. Our agency is, I guess we have about 10 people that work on these programs in one manner or another. We will have 3 or 4 people assigned to this program, but a couple of us taking the lead so that anytime anybody calls, there's somebody that's very up to date on what the program is. We have some people in the agency that kind of have developed some specialties over the years too. So for example, when we're driving towards that first meeting and making sure that everything goes right, all that table preparation and things that you looked at, I know that you may dismiss the importance of that, but the first meeting has to go well. It has to look right. It has to be professionally organized. People have to have a good experience or they won't come back. If I'm telling you how to do that first meeting, it'll be a disaster. If Dan's telling you how to do it with Jennifer Volk in our office, everything's going to be perfect because they really have an eye towards detail and making sure that it looks right. So you will see Jennifer Volk, for example, when we're driving towards that first meeting, kind of helping us make the preparation for that. So I don't know if that answered your question, but...
No, it did, because you have multiple folks depending on the strengths of that individual.
Right.
Okay.
Bridget, do you have a question?
My question is about the actual engagement process and taking into account the fact that we have a lot of parents who work second and third shift. They work odd hours compared to the school district's hours. How will you help us identify the parents who need to be participants and encourage them to be participants, accommodating their schedules? And then I guess I could put a little explanation in there since I'm not the next to last question this time. We have a history of, well, nobody asked me. Well, yes, we did ask you, you just didn't do it. So blaming back and forth instead of actually solving the problem of getting people engaged. So I'd like to know a little bit more about how you help us as a community to engage the right people as far as parents are concerned.
Well, first of all, you know, from word go, we're going to do everything we can communications-wise to know that this entire community is invited to be a part of the process, be you a parent, grandparent, business owner, whoever you might be. So there will be that all call. Everybody is invited, and it'll be through press releases, whatever vehicles we can possibly, school newsletters, et cetera, okay? We will also do recruiting. And by that I mean what we like to do is put together, ask each principal and train each principal to put together, you know, a team of 15 to 20 folks from each school. And again, we'll work with the leadership of the district, the facilitating team, to determine exactly how that should be. But in essence, to say we want you to recruit X number of folks from your attendance area, and that can be parents, it can be grandparents, it can be community folks, it can be staff members, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 folks. We expect when we have the first meeting representing your school, there will be about 20 folks there, which you have recruited, and we'll work with them to do that. But that's recruitment. Keep in mind that everybody is invited, and will continuously be encouraged, you know, to be at those meetings. Now, the other piece is not everybody, and we all know this, can attend a meeting or be consistent in attendance at every meeting. So we will use the website extensively. In Hazelwood, one of the charts that one of the communication vehicles that I showed you was a recap of the last meeting or the last few meetings. That gets out to everybody. So we'll use the website, the verbatim documents, the executive summaries from each meeting, the data presentation from each meeting, the summary consensus points from each meeting will be on the website. And people will be able to react to that. In a district where we're just starting a program right now, they decided to say, you know, evening meetings are fine, but that doesn't reach everybody. We wanted to also have a Saturday morning meeting. So we're having, for every session that we do, more time for the professionals. For every session we do, there's a weekday evening session and there's a Saturday morning session. It's the same session. You can come to either one. But again, the opportunity for more folks to be involved. So if you might hit the weekday evening session, this month, but next month the Saturday morning session might be better for you. So I don't know if that helps answer your question.
And then just a little bit of follow-up on that, one more thing. Knowing that some people don't like working with strong personalities. I don't have any personal experience with that. But I know that that's a problem sometimes. And it's easier sometimes to leave them out. However, I know the naysayers and the extreme cheerleaders can sink a plan faster than anything. Do you have a process for helping professionals and facilitators to kind of mediate that and hear what both extremes have to say and help them come together on some kind of consensus?
What we like to do to make it authentic is when we have a small group, when you come in to the room that night, you're going to get a number, and that's going to give you your table assignment. That may be different from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting. It'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people at that particular table. We ask that table each time to select a recorder to fill out the worksheet and a spokesperson. So that spokesperson has the responsibility of kind of keeping the discussion going and finishing on time and that sort of thing. I will tell you right up front that if you have 30 tables, not every table is going to be functional. But a large percentage will be. And that table that's not functional at this meeting may be very functional at the next meeting. Okay? We don't hover over the small group work. That's you as community folks and parents talking with each other. Some folks have said, well, don't you train facilitators to work with each small group? The answer is no, because we want it to be real and authentic. And that's the reason why, from time to time, some tables, they just will not be there. Or they talk about recipes or something else. But if you got 30 tables, 27 of them are going to be right on task.
A couple of points, too. One, okay, it'll be short. You asked us a question about getting attendance at the meetings and reaching out to a lot of people. We'll ask the facilitating team the same question. We don't have every answer, and most of the answers that we do have, we've stolen from other groups who had smart people on their facilitating team and gotten some good ideas about that. The other thing I wanted to say is in any community as large as this, and has gone through some history like you may have some naysayers in the community who want to come to the meetings. And our history has been there's two kinds of those. The first kind will come and they'll be skeptical, but they'll get involved with the process because they'll know it's real, and they'll sit down at the table and they'll participate, and they will be productive. And it's good that we hear from them because they have a lot to tell us. There are a few people, a very small number, who want to come to the meeting and all they want to do is disrupt meetings. They want to stand up and yell and use a microphone and dominate. And these kinds of meetings don't have a vehicle or a forum for that to happen. And those people tend to come to a couple of meetings, and when they find out they can't disrupt the meeting, they stop coming. And they stop coming because